Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you guys are tuning in, hit that thumbs up. And of course, if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Guys, Red Day recap, as you can see from the thumbnail, we're down 800 bucks, 857 and 98 cents to be exact. Not great. Second decent size red day. And over this last really month and a half, even maybe even 2 months, mid-September, we haven't been as consistent as we would like to be. And so we definitely have to turn things around here. We're looking to make some adjustments. We have been tweaking a few things, but the slower market days seems to be getting the better of me. There are some days that are better that we are, not very green on, but overall the slower market days are getting me, right? So just by comparison, this is the first 4 months of the year. We can see here, the red days are kept to a minimum. Just a few red days throughout the month, and that's exactly how we need it to be. Fast forward down here to September, October, November. You can see here, towards the end of September, especially the beginning of October, a lot of red days, clumped up and clustered together. Not what we want to see, not what we want to see at all. And so, we need more months like May, right? Again, 3 red days, July, just a few red days in there. So, and months like August, if they do happen, they still need to be good months, right? A month like this was still a solid month, despite having a couple of red days. We still were able to finish nicely, I think 20K. So October just up 1K, and this is a month where we were able to make over 38,000, right? So let's look at October here quickly, just so I can give you guys some perspective of how things are looking. We did have the monthly recap, but we'll take a quick look here again. So let's go to detail, win-loss comparison or expectation here. Look at October. Green 39,900, but lost 38,600. That's just losing way too much money. Throughout all the back and forth of me trading throughout the day, green, red, big green, big red, and so forth, and not being able to consistently retain the earnings, retain the profits. So that was kind of the issue that I was facing here. You can see the lower accuracy of just 44%, right? So when we come over here to November, granted, okay, to this point, it has been a better month so far, but we still have a lot of things to improve on. We need to get this here to 50%, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55 and up would be amazing, really. But when we come on down, you can see we're still losing at an alarming rate. So far this month we've made 51,000, but we've lost 41 of it. It's just too much. We're losing too much. The inaccuracy is a little too high, and as a result, our equity curve is not as smooth as it should be. We've also had our largest drawdown here of the year in this month of 4,000, and it sneaks up with these same type of red days that we're having like right now. Between yesterday and today, we're down 1,500, 1,600. So we got to shape up. We got to be a little bit better. And I think I got to do a better job of just, taking it a little slower. I am sizing down in some areas where, things are looking a little tricky, but we got to do a better job. And I think we got to stick to our quick scalps. We got to just stick to our quick scalps. We're going to definitely be studying up. I'm going to study my own video. I'm going to study Marcelo's, and I'm going to study Tim's. Try and prepare, have a bit of a better approach and game plan here in the back half of the week as we're coming up on the holidays here in the States. Thanksgiving. Too many red days, and the red days are too sizable. We're making $2,000 on our green days, which is good, but we're losing 900 bucks on our red days, which is not so good, right? So there's work to be done here. Grateful that we're still up 9K. Again, last month only doing 1K was awful. So 9,000 is all right, but really and truly, if we're really shining, we'd already be up 18, 20K plus in the month. So let's continue here. Let's talk a little bit about the technicals and the stocks that we traded. So let's see here. Positions. We'll go in alphabetical order. A, B, B, C. Here, let me take a sip of water. A, B, B, C. This one didn't really look so bad right away. Like into the open pre-market, didn't look bad. It's like, okay, there might be some opportunities here. So a nice move up. We pulled back. We're consolidating at the lows and into the open. It ended up giving a nice bounce. Watching the other stocks, I did miss the initial red to green here. Sometimes this is the difference, though. If you have a stock like this on watch, I don't know why I do that. If you have a stock like this on watch early and you can capture this type of a move, it's very subtle. The volume is very light, but the 1 minute candle makes a new high at 90, pushes up over 94. That goes to 97, to then 206, and then to 222. By the time I see it, we're kind of already over here, and we start to get the dip. And I'm a little late to the show, but we do. I think we got green like $90 with small size, and then we ended up having some losing trades. But the pullback here, I like how well we held up. I think I ended up getting caught buying a little too high. I bought at VWAP here at 201, 202, but we ended up retesting the lows of the pullback. But I love how well it held up here. The first low, second, third time held up really well. And even a fourth time, although we overwent the landing zone by a couple cents, it did bounce back up here a little bit, back to $2. If you bought this really low, you could have still gotten a play. But other than that, it did sell off. So that was a little disappointing. ANGH. ANGH, these type of stocks, I tell you, man. These are the type of stocks I got to do better on. I think this type of stock right here, I could have done a better job on today. So first and foremost, we start off the day and we have a bit of a range. And initially, I think I'm slacking a little bit because I could have been long. I could have been long here earlier, getting the lower levels of this candle here at 13. And from 13, we did push all the way to 23, which is a nice 10-cent opportunity. If I capture 6, 7, 8 cents out of that, it's a pretty good move, right? So on the way down, we had a high of 23. It's pulling back. I ended up buying 15, thinking that that was good enough. The level 2 was showing, that we're holding up a little bit there, but I'm in. Then the selling continues. Ended up stopping out. We ended up coming all the way down to 10, and I bought back lower at 10, but did not hold my position long enough here to get the bounce. From 10, we ended up going back to 15. A couple cents. Even if I'm only making 3-4 cents right there, we come back down to 10, and then boom, right here. This was a nice move back to 19, and then high of 21. And then the third time back to 10. At this point, I already switched to another stock, but this was good to see here. Back at 10, and this eruption here is what we wanted to see all along. To 29, pulled back to 20. The 1-minute candle then comes in, makes a new high, all the way to 41. We should have done well on this stock, at least a few $100. Let's say 4 or 500, maybe 6. I think if we're to trade this well and to be locked in from the early entry at 13, setting the tone, we could have traded this range here and then got the breakout. The only thing for me would have been being careful on this backside, because these areas like this I like to buy, like right here, where you see the gray bubbles, and it didn't hold up the first 2 times. I could have seen myself giving back some profits there. Hopefully not all, because the way how these candles are coming down like this, if you're in there with a good position and you're in a little too long and you get caught in that bigger drop, can go right back to flat, even red. So ANGH, I think a stock like this I have to do a little bit of a better job on. CDIO, on the other hand, CDIO, the slow grind, man. CDIO. Starting off, and this one was like on watch for potential continuation. So we had some levels that were coming across here, 182, 174. Seems like we held up those levels relatively well, and that was some high of day levels from a few days ago. So that was good to see. Well, again, for me to capture this type of a move, I really have to be watching this stock as like one of the only stocks throughout the day and really paying attention here. But if I'm from stock to stock trying to watch what's trending up and not trending down, it's very unlikely that I can take this type of trade here. But it's part of the deal. You can't catch everything. But this, I think, is something to definitely consider if you're watching the stock, especially this. If you're not in this first time, we then come down here and we start to like hold up a little bit. So there's potential entries here, and then even for the high of day push throughout the breakout with risk down below, right? So in 82 entry, but again, this is that kind of like all day kind of play, like hey, I'm gonna watch this for a few hours, 30 minutes to minimum. But from 45 to 45 an hour later, we've had a push up there to 247. By the time I saw it, we're in this consolidation here. Took the dip up here, but I needed to be a little bit more patient. We ended up pulling back into the pre-market high, or was it high of day? High of day. The first high of day is where we ended up pulling back. So I ended up getting chopped out. Needed to be buying a little lower down here. So got chopped out of this move, and from there I wasn't watching at this one. We got like an extended dip, and then the move back up. But there was opportunity here if you're trading throughout the afternoon and just being very patient, waiting for those low of day levels. Because again, look at what we did here again. Right here, it's down. And people sit here and trade this. It's opportunity. It's slow. It's not the fancy LIFW, PXMD, big moves halting up. But if you're here and you're watching and you're waiting, you don't mind holding that 20, 30 minutes. This stuff is here, right? You can wait, take these clean entries like this. Maybe you have shares available. If it's rejecting the highs like this type of candle like this, is not bad. Shorting right here. And it's like, hey, if we get back over this high point, I'll cut the trade, So short opportunities, and look at this flush out there, So it's not all bad. Although it's slower, it's not quite the usual. You can see the volumes just 20,000 shares, 30,000 shares, 60,000 shares. It's not pretty, but there's money here if you're watching and you're paying attention. You don't mind. So from there, we end up getting a high volume move later into the afternoon. But again, just wasn't super interested in it. And then it came down here, and it seems like so maybe tomorrow it might give a move again, right? It's possible. And lastly, SGD. This is the most disappointing one for me today. We're saving the best for last, the worst for last. This one had the best opportunity, but my mindset was not where it needed to be. That was the biggest adjustment that I mentioned in the live stream. And you guys will hear this from me from time to time that, when certain stocks come that are super aggressive, you have to be able to flip the switch. You have to be able to get into that zone of like, hey, I'm just going to dominate. I'm going to take on the risk and I'm going to manage as best as I can. So on arrival, I pulled it up and we're already maybe at like 47. Like there's been a ton of green candles in a row. And the spread is about 10 cents. It's a little sporadic at times. I believe I was watching for like the break of 4 or something, like from 3. I think I saw it like 365. It made a big move quickly up to 83 and then 96. And so I started watching for the break of 5 because I'm like, man, this thing might just keep going. Attempted the break of 5, got chopped out. Very disappointing there because that could have given me a little bit more of a confident boost, a bit of a cushion to take on more risk. But got chopped out. It pushes to 5, then 515. It dips. I try to take the dip, but we don't really get a huge breakout after the dip. So 2 good trades that I like, kind of missing one, the other one not really resolving as well. And I just felt like I was on my heels, right? It's been a slow day to this point. Came to the stock, and then kind of missing some entries there to start the day. And the entries that I did take, some of them I just got chopped out on, got caught in a few places. And I think like this is one of the areas I got caught buying this red candle here. What was the high? 93. I think I bought like 60 or 58, and then it flushed down to 44. So, and all of this kind of is me not being fully in tune with the stock, right? The low here was 38. A lot of times you got to ask yourself, where's the high and where's the low? And where are we now relative to those levels, right? Am I buying an area that could potentially be extended here? And so if we bring this back and we map out this zone, this is our range. Low, high, low, high, right? And so, If I'm buying 65 and the low is at 40, then I need to know that, hey, like I can get stopped out, and that's what happened. So, you know, I need to be a little bit more careful there. But I think for anybody who's in a zone, you're capturing, if you're in a good rhythm, you're capturing these opportunities. Quick dips pop, you know, quick dip pop, first 1 minute candle to make the new high pop, you know, stuff like that. And this area here, I'm not gonna lie, I did get caught off guard thinking that the move was done. Um, we didn't have a red candle, and it's usually sometimes, you know, not really good, because when we do end up pulling back, it's like an exaggerated pullback from the extension. And we had this candle here on the 5 minute. Topping wick doji, almost a shooting star. And I'm like, man, you know, high of day volume at the time. So I started kind of looking for other opportunities. But again, if you're in a good rhythm and maybe you keep watching, this right here was just sweet money. So this, I think, might have been one of the best trades of the day. And it's one of those unexpected opportunities, right? Because look at the low here, it's at 80 and the high is at 96. You know, the 1 minute candle, which is the setup here to make the new high and bounce off of VWAP. If I'm watching this area here and I'm buying 97, 98 for break of 4, I'm expecting, hey, can we get to 405, 410, at best case 415? Let's say I'm looking to make 10 cents. If this can go to 408, 410, you know, 10, 12 cent trade, this thing erupted from that break of 4 all the way to 74, almost like instantaneously. So if you're in there, you know, 2K shares, 3K shares, 5K shares, boom, there's 60 cents, boom. You know, just like that, you're up, you know, $1,000, $1,500 in this one trade. I missed it thinking the stock was finished. And then, you know, again, it's where we kind of started consolidation. So, you know, imagine me thinking, yeah, this thing is done, switching away. I look back, it's up here. And again, you know, being on my heels, not being in a good rhythm, missing some of the key trades. You know, that's how you kind of end red on something that you probably should have did really, really well on. So a little disappointing there, but you know, this isn't gonna happen too often. Most of the times when we get a nice move like this, the past star will be nicely green. But yeah, so the best stock we actually did the worst on, which is a little ironic, right? But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Kept it tight on the rest, which was good. But the stock that we actually needed to do well on, you know, maybe being up 1,000. If we're up $1,000 here, you know, was that minus 100? That brings us down to 9. $70. That brings us down to 8. Yeah, we're down. You know, an $800 green day is what it should have been, because we should be able to make $1,000 on this in our sleep. But anyhows, that's how it went. We'll be back tomorrow. Another thing for me too is that sometimes I get so tunnel visioned in one stock that's kind of moving that I forget. Well, let's not say forget, but neglect the scans, neglect the chat. So when something like this is hitting the scans or getting called out a million times, I'm so sucked into one stock that, you know, I kind of miss some of the moves. But it can be a good thing at times. It's a bit of a negative, but it's part of the deal. So that being said, that's where this recap's gonna end. Guys, hit that thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing. I'm gonna be studying here the rest of the afternoon. Looking forward to being back tomorrow and being back better. With that being said, it's been Relentless Trader. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. So hit that thumbs up on the way out. Check out the links down below, and I'll catch you guys later.